Hey, what is going on guys? This is Darsha and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back with another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video, but today we're not doing a season update. Instead, we're going over a new feature. Or maybe not a new feature, but a feature that's pretty new to me and I've only started using recently, but one that makes things a lot easier, especially as a fellowship leader or an officer. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. For those of you who do want to support me further, you can do so by becoming a YouTube channel member, which unlocks pretty cool rewards and perks for you. That being said, let's get straight into it. So, the feature we're going to be talking about is the Siege Rally. So you guys are probably used to normal rallies, like the ones you do when you're rallying monsters or whatever, as well as marshals, which officers and captains can set up, and you can send your army over to it, and then the officer or the captain in question has control, and they can send it over, capture tiles, fight armies, whatever. But siege rallies are completely different. Well, they're not completely different, but they are kind of different, and they're actually really, really cool. Like, it basically makes a fellowship able to take a keep even during their off time, so long as it's not contested, obviously, and they're fighting or defending or whatever. At the same time, they'll be able to take a keep pretty easily. If there's an enemy team fighting, well, you kind of want to do that when all your players are online so they can react in real time. But if you just take in a neutral keep or something, or an undefended keep, siege rallies make it really easy to do. And why is that? Well, this is what a siege rally is in simple terms. It's a normal rally, except it has 100 spots, aka every single person in your fellowship or your warband can send one army to it. Now, the good thing is you can pick whether your army is a siege or a PvP army. So the person sending it can, let's say they want to send their siege army. They can send a siege army and pick for it to be a siege army. So it'll hit after all the PvP armies hit. Or if it's a PvP army, they can send it as a PvP army. The person sending it gets to pick that. But as an officer, you can also go and edit that if you see an army that is quite obviously a PvP army, sitting there in the siege category. You can move that over. Or maybe someone accidentally sends their siege army over to the PvP side. You can move that over to a siege army, no problem. So I'm going to show you guys like how it works and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's just a really nice feature, and I never thought I'd be doing another feature video or something that's not a season update in quite a while. But yeah, here we are doing one again. So let's just go over to literally any heap, right? So yeah, there we go. Let's go to Durin's Vale, Moria, right? And you can. Oh wait, actually, no, we don't have a fortress up there, so we can't actually do that. Damn it, we have to have. Okay, let's go here, which is something we're actually sieging at the moment. Can I? Okay, yeah, you can see you can join siege, right? Normally you'll just click and you'll click create a siege rally, or you'll click siege rally there, right? Let me see if there's another keep. Can I? I don't think I can select one on a keep we own, right? It has to be a keep we don't own. Yeah, okay, you can't. But yeah, basically you'll just click on a keep, right? You have to make sure you obviously have a fellowship fortress nearby. So for example, let's say we want to take Moria, we build this fellowship fortress, we click on here, and then when we do that, we click, well, underneath occupy, there'll be an option for siege rally. And so you click that siege rally option. And when you do that now, it makes, so if you go to cooperation here in fellowship, it'll come up with this siege rally, right? And it'll be 100 different, as you can see, 100 spots over here. As you can see, this siege rally has 25 out of 100 spots, and it's got 2.8 million PvP damage, like in total power, right? So this can go and pretty much solo the entire keep's defenders, because that's 2.8 million power for PvP, and it's got 15,000 siege per hit, which is pretty goddamn crazy. 15,000 siege, that's just gonna hit over and over and over again. That's really nice. So yeah, the way you do it is basically very simple. As I said, you click on the keep, you're gonna click siege rally, and it's gonna create one. And you can obviously you can choose the power requirement. So if let's say I only want armies over 90,000 power, I can pick power requirement there. I can put a description and all that stuff. And then once it's created, people in your fellowship, so they're gonna see it come up here in cooperation. I think does it show up here? Let me just go back and have a look. So I created this a while back because you can have it like you can make it like 12 hours early, so people have time to do that. Keep pushing. Nope, nope, nope. And marshal the force. Okay, now I can't see it here, but it is in the all chat, right? So if we just scroll all the way back. Okay, we need to go all the way back. I'm not sure if we can actually scroll far enough to see it, but we can try. No, we can't. Oh no, we can keep going. Hold up. Nope, that was the employment hall. Back. Nope, keep going back, go back. There we go. Perfect. There we go. You see, it shows up in the fellowship chat. So it says, so person name of the person who set it up. In this case, me. So Tharshay initiated a rally at Langstrand Heap. Shows the location. You can click on that and invited you to join. And if you click on this, it will obviously just take you to the location, and it will also allow you to just join. Or you can obviously come through fellowship, go to corporation, and join the siege rally here. But yeah, it's very simple, right? And now once you join, you're gonna just pick, is your army a PvP army or is your army a siege army? And you can select it. Now, as a officer or as the person who set up the siege rally, there's going to be an option here called manage or join. Join is pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to allow you to join with one of your armies. And manage allows you to basically pick, or no, should I say switch armies between PvP and siege. So you'll click manage, it'll bring up another menu. The left side has all the PvP armies, the right side has all the siege armies, and it will show the name of the player as well as the total power of the armies. It'll show the power of the armies, so 100k, 105k, 110k, whatever, and it will also show the siege damage that that army does. So then you as an officer or as a leader can go and obviously manage that. So you can go and change that. So let's say you see an army on the PvP side that's got 50k power but 1000 siege. Yeah, you don't want that there. You're going to want to move that over to the siege side. So you can go and you can move that really simply. Or if you see obviously an army with 150k power and no siege, it's on the siege side, you can go move it over to the PvP side and do that. So yeah, it's a really nice feature. It basically allows you to make a massive rally to do a keep. So for example, right, I set that rally way earlier, right? I set it quite a while back, like maybe 8 hours before the siege or whatever, and it allowed people to go and join. So obviously those people that were going to be online at the time, they didn't send their armies to the siege rally. There was no need, they're online to manage their own armies. But for those people that were unsure if they were going to be able to be online at the time or whatever, they could send their armies. So we had 25 armies in there. We had 2.8 million power in terms of fighting power, and we had like 15k siege damage. So then that launched from the Fellowship Fortress, hit the keep, and basically, it just made it very simple. And I really like this because remember, you as a Fellowship leader, you can set it up as well as your officers and stuff. And I'm not sure if we can set up multiple siege rallies, like how, I can make a martial force here. One of my officers can make a martial force. We can have as many martial forces as we want. In fact, let me disband that martial force and everyone their troops back. But yeah, you can have as many martial forces as you want. I'm not sure if you can do multiple siege rallies or not, but I have a feeling you can. I mean, it would make sense, that each officer could. But I think that also kind of be a bit OP for officers. Plus the leader, that's like 5 siege rallies. God damn, 500 armies. Okay, I don't think any fellowship has that many armies to send in, but yeah, it's a nice feature. So let's say we want to take another keep, right? So let's say we're taking Edoris. So we want to take Edoris, right? Obviously, we're assuming, we've cleared the area. There's no Mordor around to, attack us and kill us and stuff. But we cleared the area, and let's say I want to do the siege at a time when, everyone is asleep. For example, 5 in the morning, right? I'm awake because I have no sleep schedule, but, most of my players are offline, except for like the US players, because 5 a.m. my time is like prime time for them. So it's me and a couple of US players, and we're not going to have the siege, to do 700,000 siege as well as take out 80 level 45 armies. So we set up a siege rally or two. We have 100 armies join. That is an absolute ton of power for PvP as well as a whole lot of siege. And now that makes it able for us to actually go and take a keep like Edoris at a time when most of our player base is sleeping. So yeah, I know it's such a simple feature, and honestly, I didn't even know it existed because like I would click on a keep. I would set my announcement, and when I saw a rally, I just saw a rally and thought, normal rally with 5 people or whatever space you have in your fort, right? I didn't honestly realize what it was until someone in my fellowship messaged me and was like, leader, why aren't you using the siege rally? It's a pretty nice feature. You can, use it and get everyone there, and it will allow you to take keeps even when people are offline. And I was like, oh, okay, what is this? So I went and I had a look at the feature, and I tried it out. And I was like, oh, wow. this feature is actually really good. And yeah, I'm actually happy with that addition to the game. It makes taking keeps a lot easier. It makes having a lot of siege and a lot of PvP on standby for the keep, be there and be ready for that. I kind of wish you could also use them for crossings. Unfortunately, you cannot. I know, because I did try when we wanted to siege this. I tried to see if we could set a siege rally, but this, it only allows you to do a normal rally attack with like 5 people or whatever. No siege rally, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.